Hey,
All right. Tim
Yes.
Reynolds. Wow. The GOAT is on the podcast today.
a prodigy.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right, man.
Where you at?
Well, I'm at home in Florida right now.
Oh,
To clean the house, I have a vacuum cleaner that, one of those little robots. His
yeah.
name is Harold. I named him Harold because there's a Genesis song from Foxtrot record that's really kind of goofy called Harold the Barrel. So I named our little guy Harold the Barrel, although he needs some assistance with a person doing some other vacuuming because he's only, gets around certain things because he's a round
Yeah.
little thing that hobbles around the floor. Gets stuck once in a while. Like if he tries to go under the couch, he'll get stuck, or if he tries, that's Harold. That's what's happening now.
What
I was doing some vacuuming right
first-
before you
what
called.
is it weird being home for being traveling so much your whole life? Do you like not know what to do when you're home, or do you enjoy it?
Well, I guess because I'm so used to going and coming home, I think I'm used to it.
Yeah.
I mean, I could just be clinically insane and don't notice how weird I am,
Yeah.
which is very possible.
Yeah. Do you
I don't know. You sound too self-aware there to be
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah, true. What about because you're an army brat, so like you've always been on the move. So maybe like your brain is always your whole life, like you've always been more comfortable when you're moving, going to different places and stuff.
I guess. I mean, I'm pretty much liking it where I am now because this is the warmest place I've ever lived, which I really like. So I don't see me wanting to get away from here anytime soon unless some abrupt change in my thinking occurs, which is, you never know.
You never know.
But for now, I'm really digging it. I mean, I was just up in New England on Tier 3 tour, and even though it was cold, it's just it's very nice. I mean, you just kind of bundle up. I had to go get coffee one day. It was so fucking cold. I put on my jeans and my sweatpants over my jeans, and it was good to go.
I love it, man.
Layers, baby.
I love it. So how do you still enjoy touring? Is that something you love doing with TR3, or is it?
I enjoy all of it because, touring is kind of it can be the hard part because you got to travel. But when you get to play music, for me anyway, however hard that can be, and it's not always hard, maybe never that hard, I don't think. You're so used to it. To be able to play the music is just too good. I can't. If I stop playing the music, that would suck. So I just travel. I mean, I could see if I get really old and I just can't do it, I would still play music. I just wouldn't be on the road. I'd just find, play around town or, find places to play.
Mm-hmm.
Is there
Because
ever?
I've done that before, but it is while I'm healthy and I can do it, I just enjoy playing all kind of different places, and often you play somewhere you've never been before. I played. I can drop F-bombs here,
Of
right?
course,
Oh,
do
yeah,
whatever
yeah.
the fuck you want, bro.
I played fucking Hazard County, where the Dukes of Hazard came from.
yeah.
And you know what? You know what I got for playing this little tiny, really tiny little place? I had a picture of the stage. It's like small, like Miller's, but it was so much fun. But they gave us all in the band a big certificate that's like hard and legit with a stamp that we are Dukes of Hazard.
What?
Let's fucking
That's
go.
cool.
So I'm
That's
fucking
cooler than being the Duke of
literally,
Edinburgh.
I have documentation to prove it, and I can show you my ID.
Let me see it.
That I'm the Duke of Hazard. So that's
Damn.
you play music for a long time, and all of a sudden you become a Duke of Hazard when you're 66 years old. I mean, that's some shit, man.
The Earl of
Do you think
Denver.
rock and roll keeps you young, Tim?
Definitely.
Yeah. Has there
Yeah.
ever been a moment in your life where you're just kind of over playing music?
Oh, God, no. I mean, once in a great while, it hasn't been for a long time. You can just, when I used to really do so much on my own, just crazy. I would come home and not want to play, but just need to die for a while,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
you
yeah.
know. But I don't do that hard anymore. You get older and you kind of find ways to do it that's a little smarter, so you're not, too tired.
Yeah. Is it weird to do these big stages with Dave Matthews and then come back to doing like Dukes of Hazzard stages?
You know, it's not weird at all. I love it because it keeps you grounded. Those kind of rooms are great because you're in a room with people and you can kind of see them all. They're right there
Right.
in front of you. There's no vast distance off into nowhere. Where's a sea of people?
Hmm.
It's a different thing, but I can't let go of how that feels. You know what I mean?
Right, right,
Right.
right.
It's kind of it's a perfect world in its own way. So it's playing in big places, but I like that I can do that. I
Yeah.
mean, you have to work hard because I'm always touring. I'm trying to take breaks between it.
Right.
And like I just did a 3-week tour, and that kind of was filled in the middle of a bunch of other stuff. That was good.
Yeah. What about how do you like going to Mexico with the crew? You like that
Oh,
trip?
it's great. Always great there.
Did you are you close with Trey Anastasio? Do you guys have a relationship?
No, but we hung out more there than we ever had before. It was
Well,
really cool.
what was it like? What's it like?
I met him before, just really quickly when he would sit in, years ago. I mean, we were Dave and friends together, so I've definitely hung out with
All
him,
right.
so it was great. He's the sweetest guy in the world. And it was fun to, what did we do? We worked on some songs that we were going to play just for that gig, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was fun to sit down with guitars and work on Cripple Creek.
I saw him on the piano too.
Yeah, he played some piano, yeah. On one song, yeah.
That's cool.
Have you ever got into like substance abuse like Trey did?
What kind of stuff is she talking about?
Cocaine, heroin, what do you got? Give us all the
Well,
stories.
I
Buzz
never did
rounds.
heroin. I think some way back in the 70s, somebody gave me something to snort that might have been kind of like it, but it definitely was. I've done all the drugs, but I do smoke weed and drink alcohol now, and that's a
Yeah.
safe, safe thing, and it's not, and you just don't do it too much.
Right.
Everything in moderation.
But yeah, when you're younger, you kind of try to go for it, but then you don't really need to go for it when you're older. You want to play music, really.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
it's,
When did you first find out that you fell in love with music? How old were you?
geez. Well, I can tell you the first time that my shit was lit up because my, we had one of those back in the 60s. We had those kind of stereos that were like a piece of furniture, like about 4, 6 feet wide, 2 feet deep, kind of a stereo. You know what I mean? Big ass piece of furniture. And my mom and dad listened to gospel music at a relatively mild volume. One day when they were gone, my sister put the Beatles on that stereo and cranked it up, and I almost cried thinking about it. I jumped up and down like this. What the fuck? Because it just was rock and roll at the correct, loud enough to feel it, and that was it. Boom. You know what I mean? I started playing air guitar. I had a toy guitar with strings on it, but I couldn't play. I just took the strings off and played air guitar for years. It was always with me. When a song came on, I had to have it like, an air guitar to the Beatles or whatever. So that was my jam. And then, I started playing guitar. I had Uncle Bill show me some chords. And then once I kind of knew how to play, I really wanted to dive in and really know how to play. I played bass for a while. I'm still consider myself a bass player, but bottom line at heart, because that was the instrument that when I had piano lessons, I didn't really play well, and I was kind of what's the word? I really wanted to play guitar, so I had piano lessons, and in spite of myself, I learned something about music that's tangible. Not like I can play piano, but just how music can be put together. So,
Right.
What'd you learn?
so I was like, I can't remember. It's just like child's,
Basic structure
you
kind of
know.
stuff. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But then I play guitar a little bit. My Uncle Bill showed me that. And when I played guitar with Uncle Bill, I wound up playing the low notes. And I really got the idea I should get a bass. And that was the revolution in my musical development because the bass just came to me. I was done. I was all over that, man. I spent a summer learning how to play bass by learning all the bass to like 2 or 3 Grand Funk records. That bass player is badass.
Yeah.
And then Paul McCartney as well. So I got schooled on bass one summer, and that was kind of my doorway into all the other things. Once I played bass, I was like, well, I can do some rounds on a bass. I can play guitar. Let me do that on a guitar. It was just like slowly kind of all bled into itself. Whoa. Sorry, I got to sit down. I have a sciatic leg, and
Oh
I
yeah.
shouldn't pace. And I got to start vacuuming soon. I'm supposed to be vacuuming. It's Friday.
Before she gets home.
So what I got a question, like, was music a way for you to like, was it lonely growing up as an army kid? Because like you're always away, you're always moving, you couldn't like really connect with friends because you'd be moving to the next town. Was music a way to make you feel less alone?
I guess because I never had a problem being alone because I was alone a lot. But I also had friends too, when I was a kid, like in all those places. Uh, in Indiana, well, Indiana, I was way, way young. And we lived kind of on a farm.
Yeah.
So my friends are probably my cousins at the time.
Yeah. And
Oh, yeah.
so when you finally decided to move to Charlottesville, you were you hanging out in Miller's? Like how'd you meet Dave? And what was it? Was it at Miller's or where?
Well, the first thing that happened that I met everybody pretty much in one fell swoop, as it were. I got wind of at the CNO a jazz workshop, and at the time, I was really studying and playing. I was a jazz mofo on guitar, at least I thought I was. But I never really had a lot of experience, except a little bit when I was in St. Louis with a jazz vocalist, and that was a great education. So I did have a little bit of that experience. But I came to this workshop, and Leroy Moore was the MC
Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
and also playing, and John Dirk was there, and a lot of people that I went on to play with. I think Carter Buford was playing the drums.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's pretty much like this was way before Dave was in Charlottesville, but it was all the cats and that were hanging. John Dirk, the trumpet, was there, so I kind of met everybody. Like then, boom, and I was still working at Kmart as a job, and for a while I kept up that until through slow connections in town with different people, I started figuring out I could play so many gigs a week and count on that, knowing the scene, wedding gigs,
Right.
Millers, that I finally was able to drop the Kmart and just play music. And I remember that day. I remember the lady who was kind of the boss lady when I was leaving. She said, you just don't know what you're doing with your life, Tim. And I just thought to myself, oh, I surely, definitely do.
Yeah, it's not Kmart.
But,
Why was she saying that though?
well, because I worked there, and they always want to keep their employees.
Right.
I probably was a good employee. I worked in the toy department. Uh, and so, they always want to keep you there because it's in their, interest to have people working there. And I'd been there for like a couple of years, so I was a guy that worked there.
It's pretty amazing. And then was TR3 happening back then, or were you having your own band yet, or were you just gigging around solo
No,
playing with
not at
everybody?
all. No, not at all. TR3 was like when I worked in this band called Cosmology with John Dirt on trumpet, Robert Jaspe on drums. John's wife was a singer. Leroy played with it sometimes. That's how I got to know all these people. But TR3 kind of the bass player, the drummer, myself started doing these trio gigs where we'd play some jazz, but then we'd play some kind of, police covers, instrumental, and I would sing some shit, like a blues Robert Cray had a song back then that we sing, was like up tempo. So anyway, we started doing it like that, and then I started writing more music. That's kind of how it started. And then over the years, I moved to different places and kind of, once moved so far that it's hard to kind of keep it going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so coming out, the Outer Banks really is where I met Mick and Dan, and that's when I started playing with them
Did you like
quite a
the
few
Outer
years ago.
Banks? Did you like living in the Outer Banks?
I did, but after a while, um, it's kind of, just ready to go somewhere else.
Yeah, I hear you. And then was Charlottesville the first place you really felt like home?
I guess, just 'cause there was a very developed music scene that was very accepting, and that's probably the first music scene that had a bunch of people in it as a group in an area that, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
worked together. So yeah, that was pretty great, I
I
have to say.
I heard this great story of you. You basically, Dave wanted to play with your band, but you kind of encouraged him to start his own band. So you're
Yeah.
basically the frontier of the band.
He owes you a lot of money.
He owes you a lot of money.
I mean, at the time, it seemed like, oh, I just felt like if he came in my band, we do a lot of my music, and he would kind of slow to get integrated. But I felt like he should start off boom with his own thing because it was already so developed,
Right.
and uh, I don't even know if I knew he played guitar yet. I heard him play some stuff on piano, and I was like,
Oh, really?
"Oh, this guy's a great songwriter." And then but didn't get that he played guitar right off the bat.
What
And
was
then I heard that, and I was like, "Oh, damn, he's
Crazy
got his
because he
own
has such a
thing."
unique style and rhythm.
Yeah.
You'd think that would be like his first instrument.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
what was the first song you heard of Dave that you thought that you knew he was going to be a great songwriter?
I'm not even sure, but maybe What Would You Say or
Right.
something like that. One of those first ones that are like that.
Was Miller's the hang? Like everyone talks about Miller's is like
Yeah,
the
you hear
hang
about
for
it a
all the
lot.
musicians. Was it?
It definitely was. Yeah, it definitely was.
It's not there anymore?
I don't know.
It's still there. Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Yeah, yeah.
actually, and it's probably still a hang for
Hopefully.
Oh, yeah.
younger group of people. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I used to smoke cigarettes on the top of the top floor.
After Jefferson Theater.
Oh
gigs?
yeah.
Yeah,
Same
After
here.
I love it. So when did you start touring? Like when was it you really started like taking touring and taking this whole thing like out of the local town that you were in?
It must have been really in earnest when I did the first tour with Dave acoustic. I actually did a little bit of touring with the band earlier on, but it was too much at the time. They would just tour all the time, and I did it for a little bit. And I said, I can't really do this. I'll play on the records, but I wasn't ready to be on the road so much then.
Yeah.
Of course, now I kind of am, but I kind of worked my way into my own kind of comfortable way to do it.
And how
guess.
long did it take for you to like learn the comfortable way of touring?
Oh, half my life.
Really?
I'm like 66. Well, maybe to do it so that it's, I don't know, maybe before that. I mean, I'm comfortable with it now. You know what I mean? I mean, except for I have this sciatica, which makes everything uncomfortable if
Oh,
I
yeah.
walk
I have that
too
sometimes.
far.
Not great.
Mine is kind of a daily problem. But I'm going to have to go in a minute because I have to finish vacuuming. I'm supposed to be vacuuming, man.
Okay. All right, no problem. It's like I just want to. My curious question is like, with all this pain you're going through, how hard is it to tour now? Like, is it hard to sit in a van or a bus for a long time? Or
It depends. I try to figure out ways to make it more comfortable. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um, and there's ways, I'm just constantly trying to figure out a way. I take walks, but I have to stop every so often and find a place I can sit. And then it kind of, when I sit, my leg kind of comes back to not hurting so much.
right.
And after about,
Yeah.
if I sit and breathe like 30 breaths, that's a good break.
Yeah.
And then if I stand a couple times between that and just stop for a minute, it kind of takes, I have to learn how to do it. So I've learned how to do it.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I'll let you. I got one more question. I'll let you go vacuum, bud.
Sure.
When it's all said and done, what do you want to be remembered by?
They could play guitar really well. I guess that's about all I can expect.
Yeah.
And maybe if they like some of the songs, because I really like writing songs. I'm a crazy like writing songs more than, I mean, I like playing guitar, but all the things I do are songs that I play on the guitar. And then there's obviously improvising over things, which is also a different element. You know what I mean? That's not songs, but you create in a moment. And that's it's a really great thing to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What do you like better, improving or writing?
They're both kind of necessary. It's like when you talk about breathing, you have to breathe in and you have to breathe out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's an analogy I will use because they're both.
That's really
I mean,
good
yeah. I mean, it's just
analogy.
kind of life, for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if something happened, I couldn't do one, I could just do the other. I would do that, but I would choose to currently. It's really good that I can do both.
Some of the best writing starts with improv too. Like some
Yeah.
of the best songs come out
Oh,
of jams.
all of
you know?
it, just about, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you got one
Yeah.
more question for Tim before you guys to go vacuum?
Yeah.
You have such a unique style on guitar. It's like so individual. I'm just wondering, like, who is like your main influence that made you? Why are you so much different than every other guitar player? What was the impetus for that?
Well, I can tell you what got me into playing kind of the way I do, playing solo acoustic years ago, and he's still around, I'm sure. A fucking great solo jazz guitarist named Tuck Andress, who played with Tuck and Patty.
Oh yeah.
He did a solo record that was killer.
Mm.
That record made me want to do that. Except I thought, well, I'm not going to copy him and do it on an electric. I'm going to definitely look into, playing bass rhythm and all that on the same time, but on acoustic. And I'd also, years ago in jazz, there's a guy named Joe Pass and a couple other cats that they play strictly jazz, but Joe Pass is magic.
He's the man.
That's kind of the first guy that really got me into doing that. And then Tuck Andrews came along years later and said, hey, you can make it funky and slap it.
Right.
And play cool tunes. So that's kind of been a slow development of, as it were, of all those things. And I'm still trying to learn how to, do more stuff. Not necessarily more notes, but just conceptually, musically.
Do you think, do you enjoy your acoustic shows more than the full band stuff with Dave?
They're both really great. I mean, acoustic shows, like when you play by yourself, that's very fulfilling in a way, but it's also just really great to play with another person or a group of people, because that just brings in all their energy. And it's like, that kind of interplay.
Yeah, it's beautiful, man. Well, keep the dream alive. We'll be rooting you on, Tim. You're the best, man. Hope you get that house clean. And
yes, sir.
Yeah,
wrangle that vacuum.
Wrangle that vacuum for us, buddy.
What's his name again?
What's his name?
Howard?
Well, Harold's the one that he runs around the house by himself, getting stuck places.
He's not flush.
He's just a little. I can hear him. Oh no, that's
what key is he? What note is he humming at right now?
Well, actually, let me go see.
I bet he knows.
Where is he? He's not at his little place.
I bet he knows the note.
He's shy.
He doesn't. He's camera shy. He doesn't know about this podcast industry.
Yeah, it's a new world for Harold.
I don't know where he is. That's a mystery.
He doesn't do press. Okay.
Yeah.
He's probably stuck somewhere, but I don't know.
He's at Starbucks in the drive-thru in your car.
Well, I'm gonna go find Harold.
All right, buddy. Well, enjoy your day. Thanks for sharing some time with us, and keep the dream alive, bud. We'll be rooting you on.
All right, thank you so much.
Later.
Man.
Have a good one.
All right, you too, man.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Later.